literally blowing people away with his performance at the NFL Combine.
A little-known star, though, who inspires so many here in Central Florida, now an inspiration to the entire nation. The news station's Tom Johnson has the story.
Shaquem Griffen crushed the NFL Combine, first putting up 20 reps on the bench press, then running a 4.38 in the 40-yard dash, the fastest for a linebacker since 2003. All this from a former University of Central Florida guy with one hand who was not originally invited here.
I'm a big UCF fan.
Albert Monero created UCF-based Limitless Solutions. They 3D print bionic arms for children like competitive cheerleader Juliana Linton.
The same people who doubt Shaquem doubt Juliana.
Which is why meeting Shaquem was so meaningful for the Texas girl.
In here, Shaquem is a legend, so he is the proof for all these bionic kids that, like, they can grow up and be whatever they want.
And inspiring kids like Juliana is what Griffen wants.
I hope I inspired a lot. Like I always tell everybody, if I can inspire one, they can inspire one more, and I can inspire 1,000 later. So if I keep doing what I'm doing now, I think I can, change a lot of minds about other people and be able to inspire more kids every day I go.
But what Shaquem Griffen did at the Combine is not just the top talk at Limitless.
I think it's incredible.
It's the talk of the entire UCF campus.
Everybody's been sharing everything, talking about it. It's, all the talk right now.
Everywhere you turn, with everyone you meet.
They were just sleeping on him, and then they finally decided to let him in, and he shocked the world.
All eager to talk about the underlying message.
Don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do.
Of this sudden superstar's thrilling weekend.
Never give up.
Tom Johnson.
He's absolutely inspired, a lot more than just one or two.
Fox 35 News.
All right,
So exciting.
I got goosebumps now. And Ryan is actually standing by with someone who got to watch in person his performance at the NFL Combine this past weekend. How amazing was that?
Yeah, how great was that? Shannon Green, of course, the UCF beat reporter, works for the Orlando Sentinel. It's great to see you, Shannon. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So you got to travel here. This is a player, we'll start with Shaquem, that wasn't even supposed to be there, was not going to be invited, and boy, did he steal the show.
Oh, absolutely. I think he came in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Actually, a boulder.
A boulder. He did. And this is a guy they thought maybe would be drafted 6th or 7th round. Now they're saying middle round. That's a huge difference. It'll mean a ton of money to him and an opportunity to maybe even start on a football team.
Well, what's interesting about him is he was the Defensive Player of the Year for the league 2 years ago. He's the Peach Bowl Defensive Player of the game. He's done this for the last 2 years. Right. So to me, it shouldn't be a surprise that he could go there and perform well. I think everybody else was late, especially the NFL.
Was there a buzz around him at the Combine before he took part?
I think beforehand, when you said Shaquem Griffen, people were like, oh, okay, yeah, the kid with one hand, that's a cute story. But then after the bench press, you started to feel the energy shift around the entire Indianapolis Convention Center. All of a sudden, people are asking, well, wait a minute, so he's a football player, right? So definitely as the days progressed, I think people started to recognize that this is not just an inspirational story. This is a great football player.
He is a great story. It's going to be fun to watch as we get closer to the draft, as we see him fly there. I mean, what are the fast times? Ran faster than Adrian Peterson, just to put that in perspective. Mike Hughes, this is a guy that Deion Sanders said is the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, actually, he's projected to be the 3rd best cornerback in this draft. He had a solid combine. He didn't get the 40 time that he normally gets because obviously he was one of the fastest guys in the team last year. He ran a 4.5, 4.53, 4.54. So he's going to compete at Pro Day again to probably improve that time. But he did well in the bench press. He finished 2nd place among all the defensive backs.
When is the Pro Day coming up?
It's going to be March 29th.
Okay, and for people that don't know, that's when they bring the NFL scouts onto UCF's campus. They all work out. Talk about Traquan and Akins. One of them worked out at least.
Yeah, Jordan Akins unfortunately had a pulled hamstring, so he could not compete. But Traquan Smith also had a solid pro day, did well in the broad jump, the vertical, had a 4.49 in his 40 time. So he had a good showing. He did what he needed to do. I think pro day is going to be big for a lot of UCF players because I think it's going to be packed. We could say that for sure. People are going to want to come and see Shaquem and see Mike Hughes. But it's also going to bring attention to all the other players that participated on this undefeated team.
Yeah, Shannon, how do you describe the Combine to someone that's never been there? I mean, it's such a unique experience to watch these guys basically perform.
Yeah, they are very long days.
Yeah.
I will say that. I know for the players, they get up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and they don't go to bed till about 10:30 at night. So they're working out, warming up, doing their drills, having meetings with NFL teams. They're long, exhausting days for them. But I think it's designed that way because they want to put them in pressure situations to see how they perform after you've had a long day. Can you sustain the pressure? Can you still keep a smile on your face and give your best, which obviously Shaquem did.
He did for sure. I mean, these are job interviews on steroids for sure. Shannon, appreciate the time, and we'll follow up as we get closer to Pro Day as well.
Thank you so much.
Big day for the UCF Knights, and of course that Pro Day is going to be big as well. Bob and Amy, back to you.